On this week's episode of Bayou Wild TV,
we decided to get up before sunrise this morning and make about a 90-mile trek over to the Badlands.
That's the one thing that we try to strive for out here is Custer Park is we have a little bit of something for everybody. Whether you're into hiking, whether you're into hunting, fishing.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com. Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
and the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild. A Bayou Wild TV adventure often introduces us to new experiences and new places. This week's show is one to remember.
Hey, you want to go for a ride?
We've made the rolling hills of South Dakota a regular destination on our annual calendar, where we take advantage of exceptional hospitality and exciting wild pheasant hunting.
One of my favorite things about coming here is getting to drive the milk van. Last year I was a blocker all the time just so I could drive this thing, and today we had some older hunters, so I let them be blockers and drive, but it's really fun when you get to drive it.
But this week, we focus more on the scenery. What can we find when we venture out from the cedar belts and cornfields? South Dakota holds a beauty that can only be described as breathtaking.
In Louisiana, we live to cook, and we know a little Louisiana flavor brings any meal to life. Whether it's Friday's fish fry or Tuesday's crispy chicken, with Louisiana fish fry, you can turn any meal into a bona fide family favorite. Let's all Louisiana.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
In Louisiana, we live to cook, and we know a little Louisiana flavor brings any meal to life. Whether it's Friday's fish fry or Tuesday's crispy chicken, with Louisiana fish fry, you can turn any meal into a bona fide family favorite. Let's all Louisiana.
decided to get up before sunrise this morning and make about a 90-mile trek over to the Badlands. Badlands National Park. I'm rarely ever speechless. And I'm not just speechless because I can barely move my lips, but I'm speechless because this is one of the most breathtaking views I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's crazy that something so harsh can be so beautiful, but if you ever make it to South Dakota, make the drive.
Imagine what the early settlers of this land thought when they first set eyes on these unique earthen structures. Many refer to the Badlands as the land of stone and light, and as the morning sun rises, it's easy to understand why. Deep hues of purple, red, orange, and blue come to life as the sunbeams become more direct on tiers of rock.
When you drive through there, it almost looks like a scene out of Star Wars, the desert scenes. It's just a very harsh landscape, but at the same time, that harshness is what makes it so beautiful. The minerals, the crevasses that are cut by wind and water, just the way the light hits them as we got there at sunrise, it just kind of came alive.
Bundled up in our warmest of layers, we took to a foot trail just off the main highway to get a closer look at this beautiful landscape.
The harshness was in the temperature and the wind and the lack of greenery, but it was all created over hundreds of years. And we were talking with Heather and Chris about, what do you think the people did here? You know, the Indians that had ceremonies, that lived in this land. What did they do? How did they hunt? Where did they sleep? How did they traverse this really sharp landscape? And it just makes your imagination kind of wander. Then you start seeing the nature. It looks like an environment you wouldn't expect to see any animals, but we just saw tremendous amounts of wildlife, which not always gets to be seen there. From bighorn sheep, to bison, to goats, to deer, to prairie dogs. I mean, there's a lot of life that learns to live in harsh conditions, and that's one of the cool parts about it. But if you appreciate nature and you appreciate the outdoors, it's a place that will really take your breath away.
And while we could explore this area all day, there's more to see beyond the horizon. Up next, we get an up-close and personal look at a herd of South Dakota bison.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength, to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
The Louisiana Wildfowl Festival is October 22nd and 23rd at the Castine Center at Pelican Park in Mandeville. Over 2,000 hand-carved and collector decoys and other stunning wildlife by world champion carvers. Compare your favorites with judges who award over $45,000 in prize money. Buy outstanding wildlife and wildfowl art at Sunday's auction. Live decoy carving and painting at the Louisiana Wildfowl Festival, October 22nd and 23rd at the Castine Center in Mandeville's Pelican Park. Visit lwccg.com. Continuing this week's episode, this is South Dakota the Beautiful. We came for the pheasant, but are intrigued by the scenery. Our day began with the sunup at Badlands National Park, a surreal environment fit for any adventurer's bucket list.
As we got there at sunrise, it just kind of came alive.
As we continue to the western corner of the state, our next stop, Custer State Park. It's where we've been told is the best place to get the best views of roaming bison.
Hey Colby, how are you? Good to see you.
Good. Welcome to Custer State Park.
Thank you. Colby is going to show us around. We're going to hop in the car with Heather and see all the sights.
Awesome.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Custer State Park was founded in 1919. We're South Dakota's oldest and largest state park, so we're about 103 years old now. You know, originally we were a game sanctuary, state forest. In 1912, Peter Norbeck really had the foresight to say, you know, we need to preserve this land.
How big is your bison herd here?
In the summer months, it's a little over 1,450. In the winter months, it's a little over 1,000, just because our rangelands can only support so many bison. Obviously, they're the main grazers, and then with all the other wildlife that we have.
So literally a third of them leave?
Well, it just depends on the auction. So every year we have an annual auction. It's actually the longest running production sale of bison in the world.
Well, we made it to Custer State Park and we found the buffalo. It's actually the second largest public herd in the country here, and they're not always this easy to find, but they like to see the camera and we like to see them. There's some babies, some larger calves, some larger bulls, and they look like they've got a pretty good life here. we're here with Colby. We're at Custer State Park, and you're pretty much in charge of showing people like us around. So tell me, what's the difference between a state park and a national park? What are the main key differences?
From a state park perspective, we're a little more active management on our wildlife. Obviously, with the auction and the roundup every year. The National Park Service, they more are conservation, preservation based. We do that too, obviously, but we just have a little more active management within our wildlife in terms of how they are managed. Obviously we allow hunting out here.
Right. It seems pretty versatile for people because not everybody likes to go camping, not everybody likes to go hunting, but it applies to both here.
Right. Yeah, and that's the one thing we try to strive for out here is Custer State Park is we have a little bit of something for everybody. Whether you're into hiking, whether you're into hunting, fishing,
right.
Going to the beach.
One difference, from people in Louisiana, we think of, first of all, I think nobody ever thinks of South Dakota as being so mountainous or hilly. But also, in talking to Heather, she told me, we come up here for pheasants every year, but this isn't really a pheasant habitat.
No, yeah, we don't have any pheasant out here. They tried once in the 80s. It was pretty unsuccessful though, and so yeah, we're more of that vacation-based, tourist-based.
It doesn't seem like there's too many hiding places for them around here, like there are in the other parts of the state. The buffalo are not shy when it comes to the vehicles. They scratch their heads on them, but some of the other animals are a little more elusive. What's the most hidden animal here, the hardest to find?
Yeah,
the luckiest to see?
Obviously, our mountain lion's a pretty elusive animal. We have cats within the park boundary, and then as well as our elk herd. Our elk herd's kind of elusive, but if you're out here, early morning, late at night, right before dusk, right before dawn, you have a better chance of seeing them.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemary Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
We're in our new season of Bayou Wild TV, and that means new merchandise. Head on over to BayouWildTV.com for t-shirts, hoodies, and performance shirts, featuring scenes taken directly from our shows.
The Louisiana Wildfowl Festival is October 22nd and 23rd at the Castine Center at Pelican Park in Mandeville. Over 2,000 hand-carved and collector decoys and other stunning wildlife by world champion carvers. Compare your favorites with judges who award over $45,000 in prize money. Buy outstanding wildlife and wildfowl art at Sunday's auction. Live decoy carving and painting at the Louisiana Wildfowl Festival, October 22nd and 23rd at the Castine Center in Mandeville's Pelican Park. Visit lwccg.com. If you make a hunt up north and you come back with some pheasants, or someone gives you some, here's something you can do with them. It's called Pheasant Parmesan a la Carl Beyer. Carl Beyer is a hunting buddy of mine, and he introduced us to this recipe after one of our Kansas trips. You start off with the filet pheasant breast, and you want to dry them out, lay them down. And the really important thing to do with pheasant is two things. One, they're a lot like turkey, and they're easy to overcook, and they have a tendency to dry out, so you don't want to overcook them. The other thing is, wild pheasant can be a little bit on the tough side. So what you need to get is one of these meat hammers. Now, this one's got those knobbies on the side of it, and that's the side you want to use. You want to place the filet breast down with the membrane up and just give it a good work over, pounding each one. It'll break down all those tough membranes and give it a lot of tenderization. You could use some artificial tenderizer if you like, but sometimes that makes it a little salty, but there are some unsalted versions. Now once you get the breast flattened out and pounded down tender, now this egg wash consists of milk. It's also got a little bit of Louisiana fish fry to give it some kick. Once you get these done, then we're going to take them over and brown them up in some olive oil, which is another very important ingredient. Again, this is on the seasoning that you put into your milk and egg wash. Doesn't matter, whichever one you like is fine. I happen to like this Louisiana fish fry. It's a good all-around flavoring for a number of different things. Now, the important step is make sure you brown them up really good in golden brown and some good olive oil. Yeah, you want to get that golden brown. You're not really cooking the birds here. You're going to cook them slow in the oven. But what you're doing here is getting them crispy on the outside with those Italian breadcrumbs. And like I said, it's also adding some seasoning into it too. Our next step is to put some red gravy on it. Now you can home make your own gravy or get any prepared gravy you like. I happen to like Sal and Judy's Creole Italian. This is one of my favorites from Sal and Judy's restaurant in Lacombe. They also market their own line of seasonings, and you can find them in most of the grocery stores. You take this and you just kind of pour it over your pheasant breast. Be real generous with it. And then once you've got those breasts covered, and you got to do this in a deep dish pan, then you get 6 cheese Italian flavored cheese. This is available at all the stores. It's got a combination of Romano, mozzarella, and a couple of other ones. And you're real generous with this cheese. I mean, you want to go with the whole pack of cheese on here because this cheese adds an awful lot to the recipe. Now, once you get it covered in cheese, you got your gravy on, you're ready for the next step, which is to bring it to a 275-degree oven, and you let it go for about 45 minutes.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
I've never been here and not had a crowd. It doesn't matter what day you come, what day you eat. When you got food like this, I mean, that's mine. I might share, but The tuna dip is obviously.
Maybe I'll arm wrestle you for it. Anyway, come by and see us. We're going to be here 2 Mondays a month. Check the schedule on Southside Cafe, also our Facebook page. Come by and talk a little fishing with us and enjoy a really good meal.
And sometimes
win some prizes.
Yeah, we were going to do a gift card today, so let's pick our first winner.
Come by and you might be a big winner too. You know you're going to win with the food here at Southside Cafe.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
After the 45 minutes in the 275-degree oven, you can see that the cheese is brown. And what I did was I turned it up to broil for just a few minutes to let that cheese get good and brown. And once that's done, the only step left is to take it, scoop it onto your plate, add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, and maybe some parsley flakes or some fresh parsley. And there you have it, pheasant a la Carl Bayer Parmesan. It's tough to say goodbye to such a beautiful place. Of all our trips over the past years, South Dakota never disappoints. Much like Louisiana, it's a place where the people truly love the land.
I'm sure not everybody's as lucky as we are. With the challenging hunting, it was more than made up for by the amount of wildlife we saw. We saw probably 10 different species of animals. We didn't have to go trek very far. You could literally see them from the car, all readily accessible, very affordable, and worth the drive.
Even though the views are a little different, wildlife more stout, and weather more harsh, South Dakota's a place that parallels the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage of Bayou Wild.